Hey everyone. Alright, so this is my Council of Light build again. This is the second battle report I've made with it, and this time I'm going to get some Ogres. So I was pretty happy about that because I think Ogres is actually a bad matchup for this army. So I was very interested to see how it would fare against them. So in the top left, he's got a cat, 3 lead belchers, an iron blaster. Then he's got a unit of 7 trolls, and behind him a unit of, I believe, 6 man-eaters, and they have the stubborn and poison special rule. Then he's got another Iron Blaster, a bunch of Iron Guts with 3 characters. He doesn't have a Tyrant. He has 2 Bruisers. One's his Battle Standard Bearer. The other one is built just to be a tank. And then he's got his level 4 Caster. I know he has Gret's Sickle and Crown of Command. Anything other than that, I don't know. He's got a unit of Bulls, and this has a hero level Caster with the Lure of the Maw. And then to the right of that is another Cat. I've got Capsus over here, a Cannon. Halberdier unit number 1 with my BSB. Behind it's a cannon. To the left of course, a detachment. Then Demis, my Arch Lector with the War Altar. Celestial Hurricanum. And then more Halberdiers. They look like greatswords. They're not. They're Halberdiers. And behind them is another detachment with my 3 light level casters. And there's a giant to my left. So you'll notice this list is slightly different from my last one. I have a unit of an extra detachment, and I have 1 less eagle. That way I actually fit within the 2,500 points. I made a mistake last game. And the reason this Halberdier unit is faced weird like this is because I thought that his man-eaters had scouting, and I was going to put both of my Halberdier units facing out and to deal with that. And then after I placed this unit, I just asked him, and he said he didn't. So I was like, oh, okay. So I win the turn to go first, and really I move up not as aggressively as I could, but pretty aggressively. Looks like that. Capsus is going to play a little cat and mouse game over here with the cat. My concern is I don't want to move up too far and have the cat march 16 inches and get out of my line of sight. And that's what I'm really struggling with here, is how to avoid that. So between the magic phase with all the banishments and the shooting phase with 2 cannons, I do a total of 4 wounds to an Iron Blaster. I just kind of need more. I have too many points sunk in ranged attacks to not even kill that. So Ogre's turn 1. He moves up not quite as aggressively as he could. I think he just doesn't want me to be able to pick and choose my combats. And he's going to kill the giant over here with those lead belchers. At least that's the plan. So he's shooting with 2 Iron Blasters. One of them hits a Demigryph, wounds it, kills it, and then hits the War Altar Arch Lector, and I make my ward save on both of them, which was very nice. His other one misfired and can't shoot this turn or next turn, which is very, very, very nice, because I was really worried about it. You know, going first, if I can kill even 1 Iron Blaster, that's huge. But 2 Iron Blasters, those things are so accurate. Yeah. Anyway, Empire turn 2. He put 4 wounds on the giant with his lead belchers. So I finally have time to bring my second Halberdier, my leftmost Halberdier unit up and form some kind of battle line. I'm too far away to make any charges, and so I'm content to just form a battle line and shoot at him again. I still have 2 cannons. I've got 2 banishments. I've got a burning gaze. I mean, I'm not weak in the range department. Over here, the giant charged lead belchers. It was going to be easy charge. He fled, rolled really high. I redirected into the trolls, and I really like that. If we get the giant into those trolls, I think that eventually he'll kill him, but I think there's a chance that he wouldn't kill him this turn, and so on his next turn, it would just kind of bottle up his lines. And the giant's going to die soon anyway, but I needed an 8, and I failed it. So during magic and shooting combined, I put the last wound on the leftmost Iron Blaster and put 2 wounds on the other Iron Blaster. So what I was hoping to do is turn 1 kill at least 1 Iron Blaster, and then turn 2 finish off the other one and have some ranged attacks available to start going against his trolls or his Iron Guts, because those units, and his man-eaters, those 3 units, I need to whittle them down a little bit to make them more manageable. And as it is, I'm struggling to take care of the Iron Blasters, so I'm yet another reason for me to be content hanging back just a little bit. Ogre's turn 2. Big news was that his trolls tried to charge my Demigryphs and failed it. I was glad to see that. It wouldn't be the end of the world if he had made that charge, but it probably would be the end of the demigriffs if he made that charge. Yeah, so um, yeah. Anyway, otherwise he's still kind of hanging back with his two bull units. I don't know if he tried to charge and failed. I think that's very possible. Matter of fact, I think he did. I think he tried to charge my halberdier unit with one or both of his bulls and iron guts, and he failed both of them, I think. Anyway, looks like that. His lead belchers on the left didn't rally and continued to run, so they've got probably one more chance of rallying. Otherwise, they're off the table. That's nice. His man-eaters move up to shoot at my giant, and they'll make short work of him. So they make short work of him. And we go to Empire turn 3. So this is kind of weird, and this is where I start to make some mistakes which is why I playtest things to get used to them. But so anyway, my halberdier units, the one on the left, I tried to charge the trolls. It was 50-50 whether I was in their front or flank. So we rolled it off, and the roll says I was in their flank. So I was like, oh, this is beautiful. Give me that charge. I think I need an 8. And this guy and I, every time we play each other, I swear, every time we've played each other 2 or 3 times, we keep on failing charges by 1 consistently through the game. He's failing his charges on me. I'm failing my charges on him. The halberdiers fail the charge into the flank of the trolls. That would have been so nice. That would have been, hit him in the flank, should beat him, and overrun into the flank of the iron guts. And that's not going to wipe out the iron guts, but it'll certainly be as good as I could hope for. But they fail it. Anyway, my hurricane was facing left just because there's that cat over there, and I want to influence what the cat is able to do. So he can't just sit there and it's not ideal, but it's what I had. And then I have the war altar sitting between the two halberdier units. And the mistake I'm making here is there's a big gap there that he could charge me with something. Matter of fact, his trolls could charge me. And I think the trolls only need an 8, so that's just foolish on my part. Yeah, there's the failed charge. Darn it. And the demigriffs, basically, I don't like them where they are. I don't want them matched up with the trolls. I don't want them matched up with the iron guts. I am happy to match them up with the bulls. But for the most part, I can't get them out of the way. So what I did is I just put them up here, and I'm thinking, you know what? If you charge me with anything I don't want to take, I'm just going to flee, and I'll get away, and I don't think panic will be an issue. If you charge me with the bulls only, yeah, I'll stick around for that, and we'll see what happens. So during magic and shooting, I was finally able to pick off the last Iron Blaster, so at least his threats are out of the way. The problem is we're halfway through the game, and I've yet to have a chance to start whittling down some of his combat units. I did throw a Burning Gaze at the cat, and did a single wound to it. And then the archers open up and take out the cat. That was very nice. I'd never expect these archers to do much. But I put my level 1 with Burning Gaze in with them just for that cat. I don't need that cat coming around and charging my wizards and cause me problems back here. So, way to go, archers. Ogres turn 3. His trolls charge my Archlector. He needs an 8. I just hold my breath. I stand, and he fails it. And that was so that was so risky. My best bet there would be to not get killed in combat, lose it, get away, and then somehow, some way. Well, at that point, the trolls probably fail their stupidity. But if he makes that charge, he's probably going to kill my Archlector, or if he chose to, my War Altar, one or the other. But now he's set up for a beautiful flank charge with my Halberdiers. Otherwise, his Iron Guts charged my Demigriffs, and I fled. And I think both those units at the end tried charging my Halberdiers, and both of them failed that charge. So I'm happy enough with that. Over here on the left, yeah, this is kind of funny. I put Captus up here within 8 inches of the dog because because I figured he'd fail his march test. And then I realized he could probably get out of my line of sight, so I backed him up, and then I was outside of 8 inches, so he didn't have to take a march test. It was the biggest fail on my part. Really not the end of the world, though, because if I'm worried about the cat, I could just fly up behind it, within 8 inches, and he won't be able to march, and at that point, whatever. But, at the same time, Captus has slowed the cat down from getting to my cannon, and at this point of the game, I'm not as worried about the cannon. And his lead belchers rallied. Very, very bummed about that. Then he goes to the magic phase, and he goes to use Grut's Sickle on his level 4 Beastcaster, and he rolls Snake Eyes. A 1 in 36 chance. He rolls Snake Eyes, and his level 4 caster dies. So that's That is very much appreciated by the Empire folks. Yeah, bad luck. Bad luck my opponent's part. Empire turn 4, Halberdiers finally discharged the flank of the Trolls. Um, so I put my Hurricanum and my War Altar within 6 inches of it. They're within 6 inches of both those Halberdier units. The other Halberdier unit, I decide just to stay where it is. I'm comfortable with that. I rally the Demis, so they can either help out anything on the right or they can swing up around when I need them. And I park Captuses in front of the Bulls. I don't honestly know why, because I'm not worried about the Bulls getting into my Halberdiers. I mean, I don't love the idea of a dual charge in the Halberdiers. That may be just too many attacks for them to deal with, and that's probably what I was thinking. Anyway, I make a huge mistake with the Halberdier charge on the... Oh, here's the right-hand side. There's that. And here's this. And this is a huge mistake. It's so funny. This is not a mistake I normally make, but I basically lined up my Halberdiers because I was thinking if I overrun, I want to hit the Lead Belchers. But that's if you do it like you did in 7th, if you run straight ahead. But as I'm always telling people, you pursue center to center. So I set it up so that if he breaks, I'm going to pursue back towards my lines and give him a flank charge into my Halberdier unit. What I needed to do is the opposite, is pull my Halberdiers closer to my side. That way we run towards the Iron Guts. Just, wow. Wow. So after combat, we don't do many wounds to the Trolls, but we break them. We pursue. The Hurricanum stops my Halberdiers, so they are set up so the Maniers can do a rear charge into them. To make matters worse, the Trolls get away, and there's a gap to where his Iron Guts can charge between my Halberdier units and charge my Hurricanum, and if I flee with that, it can charge my War Altar. Just the worst of all worlds, predominantly because I misaligned my Halberdiers on the left. Little details like that are very, very important. I'm not worried about it because it's not a mistake I normally make. I don't know why I made it this turn. So Ogres turn 4. His Maniers charge the rear of my Halberdiers. His Iron Guts charge my Hurricanum. I flee. I'm risking failing dangerous terrain in woods, but I'm fine. Then he charges my War Altar. I flee. I run 12 inches, so which is a shame because no matter what I rolled, he probably couldn't catch me because he couldn't fit between the other units at that point. But yeah, totally scatters my leadership. I've got a BSB. I pulled the BSB out of the Halberdiers. He's hanging out with my level 4 caster with the archer detachment, so he's within 12 inches of everything I needed, so that's nice. If you look on the right-hand side, his Bulls charged Captuses. I fled with Captuses. They caught him and then reformed, so that's why the Bulls are all the way over here on the right-hand side. His Trolls did not rally, so they continued running. So there's that. I need to protect that's the weakness of this list, by the way, is the things that give you so much synergy can be very fragile in combat, and you have to protect them, have to hide them. And so far, I'm not doing a great job of that. I'm exposing them, so not a big deal. I'll learn it. I'll figure it out. So during the magic phase, I get the weapon skill 10 off of my Halberdiers. So I'm thinking that's cool. He's going to charge in and he's going to be hitting me on 5s. So that's nice. Yeah. Then I fail my fear test on a rerollable 7, and now he's hitting me on 3s. And instead of hitting him on 3s, I'm hitting him on 5s. Fantastic. So there's that. I'm actually showing this picture to correct it because his Lead Belchers were way back in the corner, and he moved them after I took my previous picture, so they moved up. So after combat, obviously he was going to do a ton of wounds to me. I was hoping to be steadfast, turn around, and at least whittle his unit down. So if we'd trade my Halberdier unit for his Maneater unit, that would be a good trade for me. Yeah, so I did nothing. I was steadfast on 7. I failed it, of course. So I'm 4 leadership tests in a row, 2 for fear and 2 for steadfast. Failed them all, and he ran me down, and it just, yeah. So Empire turn 5, Halberdiers charge the flank of his Iron Gut unit. That's not as good as it could be because he has those 2 bruisers he can put on the side, make way with them, and they absorb my hits very, very much so. The Demis do a good job of clearing out the problems on my right flank. They charge the Trolls who have to flee. They run through the Cat, who fails his panic test, runs away from the nearest unit, which is the cannon, and then I redirect into his Bulls. He decided he didn't want any of that, so he fled, basically took them out of the game, at the same time conserved all those points. There's his hero level caster, as well as all those bulls. So, yeah, I mean, I think if he had stuck, the advantage goes to the demis there, because it's just so hard for him to get past my armor save. But he would have had a lot of attacks. I'm gonna fail some of them. So let's see, over here on the left, you have my War Altar and the Hurricane both rally, which was very much appreciated. Now here, if I had shifted to the right more, his man-eaters were going to be able to charge me in the flank. And I didn't want that, so I charged him such that if he charges in with his man-eaters, he'll be in my front, but at least it gives me a lot of attacks to go against him. His man-eaters have stubborn, so I'm probably not going to get rid of them until, well, they're probably not going to lose combat. They do so many wounds. So during the magic phase, look at those cards out there. I'm always strikes first, weapon skill 10, extra attack. I'm -1 to hit in close combat. It's really everything I could hope for. Except that I fail my damn fear test again on a rerollable 7. My general is an 18-inch leadership bubble. I'm 19 inches away from my general because I rolled a 12 on his damn flea roll. I fail my fear test, so instead of hitting him on 3s and him hitting me on 6s, because I'm weapon skill 10. Wait, I don't know what his bruisers weapon skill. They might be weapon skill 5, so they'd be hitting me on 4s, but -1 hit me on 5s. Instead of all that, I'm weapon skill 1. Just during magic, I picked on the man-eaters. During shooting, I picked on them a little bit more, so they're down to 4, which is better than a poke in the eye, but they're still very formidable. Let's see, I charge in, I do 3 wounds to one of the bruisers, none to the other. So I think I won by 2. He was on a 6 rerollable. I'm just going to assume he would have made it. What happened actually was we both thought that he had Crown of Command, and so he was stubborn, and he made his stubborn and turned to face me. Passed it for the break test, then passed again for the reform test. And then later on, we realized that it was level 4 who died to Gret's Sickle, who had the Crown of Command. So, but whatever. Leadership 6 rerollable is made often enough, so it wasn't worth worrying about. Looks like that. Ogres turn 5. His bulls rally. His cat and his trolls do not rally, but they stay on the board. His lead belchers come up to shoot my my Hurricanum. His man-eaters charge my halberdiers, but that's okay because I'm -1 to hit. I'm weapon skill 10. I've got a lot going for me. Except that I think I failed my fear test again. And I forgot, when the man-eaters attacked, I forgot that I was -1 to hit. So, just dumb. They just kill a ton of me. If he had done 2 more wounds, I would not have been steadfast. But as it was, I'm still steadfast. And it looks like that. So, I got the last of the one bruiser, but he still has a bruiser battle standard bearer. And now I'm going against rank and file, but I can't do enough. And at this point, those man-eaters have so many high strength. There's just a lot of attacks. I'm probably pretty lucky that the halberdiers haven't lost more than they did, even though they lost 20-something models. So Empire turn 6. I decide to charge my Hurricanum and my War Altar into the flank of the man-eaters. I've got 2d6 strength 5 impact hits. I can really, really whittle them down. I might be able to do enough so that the halberdiers can finish off that unit or something like that. The Hurricanum fails its dangerous terrain test in the woods, but that's okay because I have 5 wounds. What are the odds? I roll a 6. Hurricanum dies. So, yeah. Looks like that. Here's the, let's see. I think I charged the cat to push him towards the side of the board. Otherwise, everything else was out of charge range. After combat, my War Altar does a single impact hit, which does not wound. My Arch-Lector looks like he's on the ground dead, but he's not. The man-eaters didn't even go after my War Altar. They were going after halberdiers. And this time he actually didn't do as many wounds. I mean, look at the wounds he did wasn't all that bad, actually. But I remembered that I was -1 to hit, and I was weapon skill 10, I think. I'm not sure. I'm trying to read that card. I think I was weapon skill 10. I've got a 5 upward save. So the halberdiers, they had more synergy this time. They stuck around, but we're just not doing the wounds against his guys. So after we fight with him, you can see both units are still around. I think I got both these units under half, and my halberdiers stuck around, so I saved half the points for the halberdiers. I had shot at his lead belchers, and they panicked and ran away. And then on his turn, they rallied. And I can't believe I didn't take a picture of it. But his trolls were right on the edge of the board on leadership 4. He rolls Snake Eyes, and they rally and saves the points. Wow. I think both of us. I mean, I think if I were my opponent, I would say, wow, I can't believe I rolled Snake Eyes for Gret's Sickle and lost my level 4 early in the game. I can't believe I failed all those charges. There's several times where he just needed an 8 to make it, and he was rolling 7s. But you've heard me complain this whole game, like, I can't believe that I failed this fear test and that and that. It was just back and forth the whole game. When we added it up, it was actually a victory to the Empire by about 250 points, give or take. So, real fun game. This was a great game for me. It was a good learning game for me, because there's little things I'm doing that are really going to hurt me, and I need to figure that out. But I'll take a small win when I don't feel like I'm playing my army list well yet. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.